Why I Love America essay. The United States of America. Only to utter these 5 words induces my heart to swell with pride. For 244 years we have suffered as the United States of America. Through trials and hardships, during the Civil War, through the Cold War, through military conflicts, against enemies from without and against enemies from within. Among the remaining states of the earth, that the United States remain freedom's brightest hope. As well as also the liberty we now enjoy has not come without a cost of very terrific price. Over the long course of our country's existence, greater than 1,300,000 women and men have put down their lives at liberty's change. Individuals who, by the language of Abraham Lincoln, gave the last full measure of loyalty. Oh, what a price was paid for our freedom! And beyond the cost of those who offered themselves up in freedom's cause, there is the cost paid by those mothers and dads, brothers and sisters, friends, and loved ones who watched the lives of the ones that they cherished ended way too early. Hence, far more millions have sacrificed for freedom's cause. I love America due to the cost paid by her sons and daughters. I love America due to the goodness of its people. Produced in freedom, I have grown up and I've dwelt one of the finest that the world has to offer. Generations formed by the Judeo-Christian workseeker afforded a population of generous, honest, hardworking, dedicated women and men who love their families, their neighbors and their country. I have had the chance of rubbing shoulders with them. I love America because Americans are the very first to respond whenever and wherever disaster strikes in the globe. Whether it be an earthquake, a typhoon, a hurricane, famine, or tsunami, the USA arrives with the maximum. Let it be noted, those that condemn America for her excesses and try to destroy our freedom have spent valuable time and effort to lessen the suffering of different peoples on the planet. I love America because my beautiful country has demonstrated a generous soul all through her long term. I love America for the diversity of her sweeping picture. From sea to shining sea, I really like her. Rocks and rills, her woods and templed hills. I love America because, under her umbrella of freedom, millions have been afforded the opportunity to become who God designed for them to be, nevertheless flourishing within our free enterprise system. I love America because God's hand was up out of her start. At no other time in history have the kind of guys such as Washington and Jefferson, and Adams, and Madison and Franklin demonstrated up at precisely the identical place at precisely the exact same period to style that the greatest experiment in human liberty the world has ever known. Since I detect people in America, blinded by hate, decreasing sculptures of good guys, and wanting to eliminate their accomplishments from our memory, I am reminded of the words of Winston Churchill. The truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it. Ignorance may deride it. But in the end, there it is. In the 1800s, the Frenchman, Alexis de Tocqueville, political philosopher and historian, came to live in American France seeking to get the secret to America's greatness. After traveling our vast property and interviewing tens of thousands, he composed, "America is great because America is good. When she ceases to be good, she will cease to be great." As we celebrate our independence this 4th of July, may this be our prayer. Long may our land be bright with freedom's holy light. Protect us by thy might, great God, our King. Hartsville resident Jack McCall is a humorist and motivational speaker. How important America is to the world without in any way diminishing the enormous sacrifices made by England and France. It was America's entrance into World War I which made the defeat of Imperial Germany potential and ended that dreadful war. It was America that made the Allied victory potential in World War II and maintained Western Europe free throughout the Cold War. 37,000 Americans died fighting the North Korean and Chinese communist regimes. Weren't for America, all of Korea would have no human rights and could survive the mass torture, murder and starvation which have been regular in North Korea until now. The second time you hear the lie that America fought in Vietnam for colonialist motives, ask that person, why did America struggle in Korea? I will tell you why: to halt the spread of communism, that the best genocidal and totalitarian ideology ever, and thus empower more than half of Korea to reside in freedom. Another 58,000 Americans died in Vietnam to allow the South Vietnamese to reside in precisely the identical liberty America made possible for South Koreans. Neither Vietnam nor Korea had some natural resources that America wanted. Americans perished in these two countries solely so that their people could be free, and without diminishing the youth of the terrific British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and the great Pope John Paul. The moment it was America that ended communism in the Soviet Union, Poland, East Germany, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Romania and Bulgaria, and complementary one of other countries, Ukraine, Azerbaijan, Latvia, Lithuania and Estonia. America is exceptional. America is the only nation that was founded not on a race, ethnicity or nationality, but on an idea: limited government. Since the founders of America believed first and foremost in liberty, America became the freest nation in world history. Which is why France gave the Statue of Liberty to a single nation, America, and America has contributed more freedom and opportunity to more people from more countries than any nation in world history. Yes, America allowed slavery in half of its nations, but every society on earth practiced captivity. What left America unique is that Americans murdered one another in its bloodiest war to abolish slavery, and it finally became the least racist, multiracial nation in history. It remains the sole white majority nation to have ever chosen a black leader, and Africans understand how great America is. That is the reason by the 1980s more black Africans had come to America willingly as immigrants seeking freedom and opportunity than ever arrived as slaves. 3 Americans are decent individuals. Ask people what they think of Americans, and they are going to tell you how favorable Americans are. There are bad and mean Americans, and there are good and kind people in every country in the world. But having traveled overseas every year of my life since college, and to all 50 American states, and being sensitive to people's goodness and happiness, I have been continually amazed at the fundamental decency of most Americans. I fell in love with America in the age of 20, and given the liberty that the opportunities, and the religious tolerance I've experienced, I realize all these years later that America has loved me too. Thank you so much. Please like, share and subscribe.